So from that moment, I took it upon myself to really dive in and understand my body and to listen to my body, to make that commitment to listen to my body. So whenever I have a flare up, and these flare ups happen probably less often now that I've learned how to manage the pain and I know the things that I need to do. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Sunday if you guys are listening to this on a Sunday. I am trying to get all the light. Okay, I'm recording this on Saturday, the day before, but it's around like 4:30 p.m. and the sun is out. I'm about to go on a walk after this. I'm feeling good. I am so honestly grateful to be feeling good because what this episode is about. We're going to be talking about injuries, having injuries as a dancer, as an athlete, as someone who has a career where they show up and they have to use their body. And yeah, y'all, I was out of commission for a few days. So we're going to talk about why and what that looked like and how I've been recovering. And I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you can recover and take care of your body. But even if you're not injured, even if you're not dealing with an injury or you've never been injured before, this episode is going to be all about taking care of your body and preventing injuries as well. Because once we have one injury, honey, we don't need any more. Okay. It's not fun. So would not recommend doing, all types of craziness and not taking care of your body. So in this episode, we're going to be diving into, just body care, body work, all that good stuff. So a little bit about me and my backstory with getting injured and all my issues. Let me not say all my issues. I ain't got that many issues and I'm not trying to manifest them. So let's just stick with one thing here. Okay. So back in I don't even remember the year, but I want to say probably around 2017. That seems a bit right. 2016, 2017. I want to say 2017, but I remember packing my bag to go to Vegas. And we going to talk a little bit too about why I think I got this injury. I don't know. That's like more of the witchy side of me, but anyway, y'all, so I was packing, getting ready to go to Vegas this one weekend, and I was heading there with my brother, his now wife, and someone that I should not have been dealing with at the time. So I remember like in a rush, I'm always in a rush. If you know me, like I am chronically late. So I'm like packing my bags, hurrying up, not trying to miss my flight or whatever. So I just remember like feeling this really sharp, immediate pain in my lower back, like when I went to bend over and pick up my suitcase. And this was like a regular suitcase, like not overweight or like not a huge suitcase. Like, I don't know. I guess it was the way that I like bent over and picked it up. So immediately I felt pain in my lower back. So on the way there, I'm like feeling, a little weird, little discomfort. And then when I got there, I remember feeling like 5 times worse. Like once I checked in the hotel, I was like, okay, I just want to rest and like not do much. So I remember over the next couple of days, like it had gotten progressively a little bit better and it wasn't as bad as it got at some point. But all that to say, I think that was the initial moment where I got the disc herniation. So to specify, I have an L4 and L5 herniated disc. So if you guys know the body and like the skeletal system or whatever, so your spine is kind of like this like S shape. And then in between, you have like these discs like in your vertebrae. And those are supposed to be basically like shock absorbers. So if you fall on your back or you fall or anything happens, you get hit in your back, those are supposed to absorb that pressure and like that impact. So that's what your discs are there for. So they help you also to like be able to move, to have mobility in your back. So what happens when you get a disc herniation, that disc kind of like breaks. You can think about it as a lot of people like to compare it to like a donut that has like jelly inside. So that's what kind of like a disc would look like. It's like round. And then what happens is you get like that hole from like that impact or you doing something crazy, like not being warmed up, overexerting yourself, overstretching, not having the right form, squatting too heavy, not having the right form. There's so many reasons why you can have this happen to you. And honestly, it can be just like a split of a second. As you can see, it was my suitcase. Like I wasn't even working out, you know? So once that disc herniates, that jelly like material starts leaking out and hitting a nerve. Now, that's what causes sciatic pain if you've ever had pain that goes down into your leg. So usually it could be in the front or the back of the leg. For me, it's on my right side and it goes down into my quadriceps, so the front of the leg. It goes all the way down, literally into my toe. So I actually had this manifest as like toe pain at some point in my life. I had gotten a cortisol shot in my toe, in my big right toe. And I really couldn't figure out, like, oh my God, like, why? I think this was before I got the MRI. So to rewind, once I got back to Jersey, I was, back to teaching my classes. This was when I was doing, I think, just like Zumba. I was probably teaching Payo at the time, which was like a mix of like Pilates yoga. So I was teaching those two classes. And I remember like just feeling random pain like after my class. So I was working at Retro Fitness. Shout out to the Retro Fitness girlies or anybody who knows what that is. So I was working at Retro Fitness at the time, and we had just gotten like a chiropractor who set up like this little office like right next to the group fitness studio. So the girls would go in there after class. I think they took insurance, and I'm pretty sure I had insurance at the time. So I remember going, getting some sessions. I did like, I forget what they call it. I think it's stim therapy. It's like they put like these little patches on you, and basically it's like electromagnetic therapy. So it sends like a shock to your body to kind of like absorb that pain. So I was doing that for a little bit. I was getting adjusted by the chiropractor, and then I was using like heat and ice, but nothing was really working. These were all like temporary fixes. So at some point the chiropractor was like, you should probably go get an MRI to see what this really is, because you don't want to continue, doing whatever you're doing or making it worse over time. And it's best to know if it is a herniated disc or whatever. So at this point, I think I was like 24, maybe. Let me do the math. Hold up. 2017. 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I would have been like 26. Yeah. So like 25, 26, I don't know, around that time. So I went, I set up the MRI appointment. That was my first MRI. I've never had an injury or anything like that. That was the first time I had to experience something like that. So long story short, I get the results a couple days later. It's L4, L5 herniated disc. So I took it to the chiropractor for him to kind of like break down what that meant to me. And I remember being really sad, just like really, really sad. I'm like, is this going to affect my career? At this point, like I didn't even start real rhythm dance and fitness at this time. I was just really warming up and getting into the dance fitness space through Zumba and more of like group fitness. And I remember just being so disappointed and like, so I don't know, I was just lost. Like I was like, I never dealt with an injury. I don't know, is this going to affect my life, my lifestyle, my teaching, like when I have kids, like I don't know. So I ended up doing a lot of research on it. I ended up going to physical therapy, I believe, for a little bit. It's such a blur. It was such a long time ago, but I remember going to physical therapy and maybe working with them for a couple sessions. But at this time, when I was teaching Zumba, like I was not stretching my body. I was not stretching like the Marissa that y'all see now that's preaching to y'all to stretch and stay mobile. It's for a reason. It's because I literally got injured because I had no mobility in my back, or my hamstrings were really, really tight. So that's what happens when we don't stretch and we have tight hamstrings, or we have tight glutes, or our glutes are not strong. We don't have any strength in our glutes to kind of take that pressure off of the lower back. That's what happens. And lower back pain is just one of those common things. A lot of people have lower back pain. Like it's actually more common than it should be, but it's mostly because a lot of us are sitting during the day. Let's just be real. A lot of people are sitting at desks or sitting down, working, or just being sedentary, not moving as much as they should or they could. So what happens is your lower back tightens up. Right? Your hips tighten up. They're always in the same position. You're always sitting in the same position. So you don't have mobility in your hips. You don't have mobility in your back, right? You're not really doing what your body needs to do to prevent those injuries. So I think that's what was happening. Even though I was active and I was dancing and I was moving and I was working out, I think there was just at one point where something was really tight. So from that moment, I took it upon myself to really dive in and understand my body and to listen to my body, to make that commitment to listen to my body. So whenever I have a flare up, and these flare ups happen probably less often now that I've learned how to manage the pain and I know the things that I need to do in order to keep inflammation low, and also my posture, being very aware of my posture. Like, am I hunched over? Forward folds are not that great for people with herniated disc. So usually, like, I will start to feel a little discomfort or pain when I'm like overdoing it. And obviously, y'all know that I dance, okay? Like, I dance in heels, I dance hip hop, I be doing all the floor work, honey. And the crazy thing is, my back doesn't hurt when I'm doing those things. It doesn't even hurt after. So it's not really the fact that, like, I'm doing anything crazy and I'm like irritating the disc. It's more so when I'm not doing the things, when I'm not being active. So since I moved to San Diego, I'm gonna be so real with y'all. Like, I have not been completely on my workout routine. I've had a lot of time to just adjust. I've been healing and regulating my nervous system from a lot of shit that happened in 2024. I've been more of like a walker now. Like, I've been taking a lot of long walks. I've been doing more yoga. So I've been more in like the low key, low impact type of workouts. And I'm just now getting into Pilates, like nothing crazy, like not the reformer. I hate the reformer. I'm gonna be so real with y'all. I don't know why or how you guys are in love with this reformer workout. It's absolutely horrific and horrible, but I will give it another shot. Okay, I will give it another shot. I don't know. But I've been doing some mat Pilates at home from YouTube. Shout out to Pilates by Raven. I've been doing some of her workouts, and I feel like Pilates is really good for your core. It's really good for like those small little muscles, those tiny little muscles that are really going to help build strength around your joints to protect your body and prevent those injuries. So I would highly recommend Pilates to anybody. I would also recommend yoga. Yoga is going to keep you mobile. It's going to help you to be flexible, to have that mobility throughout your entire body so that you aren't getting tight, so that you aren't locking up. The downside of yoga is that you can do it too much where now you have this over flexibility. Like, I have seen that in people and I have heard people talk about it. So that might be a downside of yoga, which is why you always need that balance with strength training, right? So if you're doing more yoga, right, are you having at least 1 or 2 days throughout the week where you're doing weightlifting, where you are working on calisthenics, building your own body weight, building your own muscle within your own body, right? Being able to hold yourself up in a plank, whatever that means, hanging from a bar, doing some pull-ups, like that's all calisthenics where you're working against your own body weight. So that's also really good for us. Resistance training, that can be, again, weight training. That could be working with booty bands, resistance bands, anything like that. So that's going to be really good for your muscles as well. And as we age, honestly, y'all, we just really need to be taking more care of ourselves. We need to be making conscious decisions about the way that we're moving our body, like knowing your limit, knowing when something is not for you, also knowing when your body might be a little tired, right? Like, if I'm super tired and I say dance for like 3 hours, like I feel like, okay, I'm tapped out. Let me go do some yin yoga, like that's something I've been doing on Sunday evenings after I dance, just like chilling out and really holding those stretches for a longer period of time. And I feel like that's been really helping as well. So I'm excited to get back to yin yoga because last week, honey, oh my God, this literally, my flare up happened right before I taught my class on Sunday. And I was able to push through my class, luckily, because I told you guys, like, it doesn't hurt as much when I'm active. It's kind of like, I think it's also the endorphins and just like that, that adrenaline that's going. So I have been able to get through dance classes while I'm in some sort of pain. But honey, as soon as I get in the car, as soon as I sit in that L-shaped position, it's over. Like, Horrible. Okay, horrible. When I tell you, like, driving home, painful, painful. I want to recall this time, and I want to actually tie this into what I said earlier about your back or any type of pain that manifests in your body, it being related to something else going on in your life, whether that's emotional, whether that is spiritual, mental, whatever. Like, I would highly recommend reading this book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I actually brought it up on a previous podcast. I think it was one of those episodes where I was talking about books that I recommend or like my favorite books or books that have changed my life. So definitely go tune into that episode. And this book is so good because it talks about like the body, how your body is connected to your emotions and everything that goes on around you. So sometimes things can just manifest in your body. I believe that about cancer. I believe that about a lot of things. So in this book specifically, there's like an index in the back of the book where it breaks down like all these ailments and diseases. She calls them dis-eases, right? Your body is in dis-ease, it's not at ease. So when you're in fight or flight, or when you're constantly stressed, or when you are constantly feeling unsupported, or there's a lot of just chaos going on in your life, I do believe that that can manifest in your body as dis-ease or disease or any type of injury, right? So at the time, there were two different instances where my back just started bugging the F out. Okay. So the first time was Vegas, like I said, and I was on this trip with this guy that I just knew he wasn't right for me. Like, it was a very toxic relationship. It wasn't even like a real relationship. This was not my boyfriend. This was not my man. I don't know whose man this was because he was playing games with multiple people. Another topic for another podcast, maybe even a Substack. But yeah, girl, like, so I feel like that was almost like God's way of telling me, like, you going on this trip? Well, here's your pain. You want to deal with someone who brings you pain? Well, here's your actual physical pain. Okay. So that was the first instance. Then a couple years ago, I had went on a like weekend trip with this guy that I was dating for like 4 or 5 years. And again, my back pain came up. I also want to reference that this often happens like when there's like a weather change. So if I'm going from like winter to spring, or like it goes from like 60 degrees to all of a sudden like 80 degrees. I don't know. There's something with the weather in my body. I think it's like the humidity or something, but that usually happens as well. Like, it's more likely to happen for me to have a flare up when there's like this big weather change. So usually in like the summer or getting into spring. So like last Sunday was pretty hot. It was like 75 degrees maybe. So that, I feel like that also had something to do with it. But during this time a couple years ago when I had went on this weekend trip with this guy, it was also in the summer. And I don't know what happened. I think I recall trying to get in the car, and I used to live on like a really steep hill. And I remember getting in the car, and yeah, I think it was something like that. So for me, it's always like spring is officially in the air, and what better time to start planning for your 2025 travel than now? I'm so excited to announce our upcoming retreats for this year. So we have the Goddess Retreat happening this May from the 7th to the 13th in Greece. We're going to be spending 3 nights in Mykonos and 3 nights in Andros, which is a hidden gem. I'm so excited for this retreat because we're going to be focused on awakening our goddess energy and igniting our light. This is going to be a truly transformative experience for women who are looking to take some much needed time for themselves, away from responsibility, away from work, away from the stresses of life, and to really tap into that divine, that soft, feminine energy. Think about just soaking up the sun, soaking up the views of Greece, soaking up all of the goddess energy that Greece has to offer. This retreat is going to include a specially curated itinerary with optional activities and workshops, including meditations, visualization workshops, dance and movement classes. We have a wine tasting tour. We're going to be doing daily stretching. We have a boat cruise, some beach activities. You do not want to miss out, okay? This is going to be the ultimate experience for women who need some playtime. And we're going to be really focused on connecting with other women, healing our relationship with other women, including our mothers, our sisters, our friends. So if you are looking for that type of energy, that type of vibe, I want to invite you to book the Goddess Retreat. We do have a last minute promo happening right now, so you can use code GoddessMay for $444 off your retreat. Now, we have never given a discount this big, child, so we really want to give you an incentive to take some time for yourself. It is very, very necessary, okay? And if you're not able to travel to Greece with us, don't worry, girl. We got one more retreat happening this year. So we have the Unmasking Retreat that's happening in Seattle, Washington this August from the 8th to the 11th. And this is going to be a refreshing and revitalizing getaway for women of color, specifically Black and Brown women and those who are in minority and marginalized groups. We're going to be focused on removing our masks that we're often forced to wear in daily life in order to fit into dominantly white patriarchal societies, to receive the same opportunities that we often don't even get. We often get overlooked for opportunities, for jobs, for our talents, and this is just going to be an opportunity for us to get away from that, to really talk about it, to express ourselves in a safe space, to heal, to also get pampered, okay? This is not just going to be us sitting around moping, talking about hard life experiences. We're also going to be getting some nice somatic healing in, sound bath, guided meditations, daily movement, yoga sessions, journaling workshops, nature walks, and activities. And yeah, this is going to be really exciting. We have a private chef. Now, this is a very, very private and intentional retreat. So an application is required in order to attend. So you can head on over to our website, realrhythmdanceandfitness.com/unmaskingretreat to fill out the application. And if you're a good fit, we'll send you an invitation to book. I am so looking forward to these upcoming retreats, and I really hope that you are feeling encouraged and inspired to take some time for yourself this year. If you have any questions about our retreats or you want some more information, hit us up on Real Hot Retreats Instagram, or you can shoot us an email and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We're looking forward to seeing you on our next trip. All right, back to the show. Posture, positioning, like that's why that's really important to me. Even when I dance, like posture and positioning is very important when I'm teaching dance or I am dancing. So it's something like that. But long story short, I ended up having this pain for like the next couple of days that we were there, maybe like 2-3 days. And the biggest sign, which I wish I should have cut things off at that time, but don't come for me. Okay. I had to learn my lessons the way that I learned them. Okay. But red flag should have been like, first of all, this guy that I was dealing with, I'm not going to talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to bash him. Like, he's a great guy, a nice guy. We just weren't compatible. And there were just a lot of things that he did that were just very inconsiderate, or he just didn't think about anyone but himself at certain times. So this particular time, I had actually driven my car because he didn't like to drive, whatever, whatever. Again, another conversation podcast where we can talk about Marissa's old love life, okay, and all the lessons that I've learned with all of my dating companions, okay. But at this time, he like did not like to drive anywhere. So I was always driving, being a pick me, okay, being a pick me. Go back to episode, I don't even know, but I talked about being a pick me. So at this time, I drove and I was like, okay, cool, whatever, I don't mind driving. And once I like started feeling this pain, he didn't even offer to like drive. He didn't even offer to be like, oh, babe, I got you, passenger seat princess. Like, I got it. I got you. But no, that was not the case. So I was driving in pain, literally, like I had to drive like I had to sit sideways because so if you have like a herniated disc or you have any lower back pain or anything like that, sometimes like twisting feels better. It's like a relief. So I remember like sitting kind of like sideways just to drive, and like this man's just sitting in my passenger seat, like literally just watching me in pain drive. So that was a huge sign, but clearly I didn't get it. I didn't get the message at the time. And this is why I really be saying, when you ignore your intuition And when you ignore red flags and when you ignore behavior that you know you're not okay with, and you allow people to come into your life who do not meet your standards or people who are not treating you the way that you ideally want to be treated, you're going to suffer. You're going to be in pain. Okay. And for me, it wasn't just emotional pain. At that time, honestly, I wasn't even really feeling emotional pain because I was just going with the flow of life. Okay. We were just having fun. Like it was a fun time in that relationship, but I was ignoring the red flags because we were having so much fun. But like this was a huge red flag. Like, why would I continue to be with someone who wouldn't even care for me? Why would I continue to date someone who doesn't even care for my physical well being or my well being, period? Not even just physical, you know? So that was something that I had to reflect on. And like that came up for me this week. Like that was actually triggering. And I had brought that up to my best friend when we were on FaceTime. I was like, like I've been having this pain and like, I don't know, it just brought back up that memory. So, yeah, y'all. So, some ways that I've been able to deal with this pain, again, like I said, strength training, yoga, making sure that I do have the mobility. I really am going to start lifting more weights, especially like heavier weights. Summer's here almost, spring is here. Let me not rush summer because I know, but summer's coming, spring is here. So, I definitely want to get back into being in tip top shape. Like, I definitely feel a difference. And yeah, I just want to get back to feeling my best, looking my best. So that's going to be on my list, getting back to strength training, doing some more on demand videos for my community with strength training as well, adding that into our programs, and also turmeric. Oh my God, y'all. Turmeric has been a lifesaver. Some people say turmeric, some people say turmeric, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? It's like that orange powder. It almost looks like in its raw form, it's a root. I think it's like a root vegetable or whatever. Kind of looks like ginger. And it has like this orange texture. So the capsules that I take are, it's like grounded up powder or whatever that they put in the capsules. When I tell you this is literally saved my life. And I know that because I was off of my turmeric because I had ran out and I was just doing too much and not thinking and not prioritizing my body like I should be. And I allowed myself to be out of it for like 3 weeks. And my flare up happened last week. So that's how dependent my body is on turmeric. And it's really good for you. A lot of people put it in their food, they cook with it, they put it in their tea. So you can find it in like I get it from Vitamin Shop. The brand that I use is Organic India. I think it's also linked in my Amazon store. So if you guys have that link, you can go to my Amazon store. It might be under like wellness, something like that, health and wellness. So check that out. So if you do have any type of like joint pain, your knees, okay, let me let me say this to y'all. If you are someone past 30 years old, there is no reason why you should not be stretching, why you should not be going on walks, why you should not be lifting weights, and why you should not be doing cardio. Those are the 4 things, okay? 4 things you need to be doing. And I'm not saying that you need to be doing an hour of each every single day. Like that's unrealistic, okay? Let's be real here. But at least 5 to 10 minutes stretching. You get out of bed, your body's all tight, okay? Like we talked about this in like a couple episodes ago, like taking care of your body for self-love February. Okay, we talked about it. So you can go back and reference that episode. I'm not gonna sit here and give y'all the same lecture, but like honestly, for real, y'all, if you're over 30, like, what are you doing? You have to be stretching your body. You have to be lifting weights. You should be walking. The older that we get, the more tight our bodies get. Like, do you want to be someone with osteoporosis? Because I don't. I don't want to be hunchback. I don't want to be out here just in pain all the time. Like, that's not a good look. I want to live my best life as long as I possibly can, whether that is 80, 90, 100. Like, but I want to make sure that I feel good in my body. So that is going to be my main priority for this month and the rest of the year and the rest of my life. And I'm going to be real. Like, of course, we have our seasons where other things are priority and we don't always have the same routines. But right now, I think going into this new season of spring, like this is a time to get those routines in order. Okay. I just cleaned the F out of like my place today. I am feeling good. So yeah, y'all, I want to encourage you to please take care of your bodies, okay? Listen to your bodies. And if you're in any type of pain or discomfort, like do not ignore it. Go see a doctor, go see a podiatrist. I think that's the right doctor. That might be for your feet, but there's also like other modalities. We didn't even get into body work. Body work, that's massages, that is chiropractor if you believe in that. There is acupuncture, like a lot of different modalities, going to the spa, sitting in a hot tub. You could do a cold plunge. There's so many different ways to care for your body. And I know, it'd be adding up. Okay, I get it. It could be very expensive. But when you think about the things that we spend money on, whether that is food and drink, right? That's common for a lot of us. Subscriptions, things that we're paying for that we don't even use, things that we buy that we don't even use, right? And I'm not here to give anybody a financial lecture. I'm far from a financial advisor, okay? I'm just taking my own advice here, okay? So, really getting real about what you're spending your money on versus how you're taking care of your body and how much money or time, care, that you're spending on your body. Like, would you rather be on painkillers and prescription drugs for like the rest of your life? Or would you rather invest in some turmeric, some magnesium, your supplements, and a gym membership? Which one sounds better? I think we all know the answer. Okay. So yeah, y'all, body work, really important. If you're someone that like doesn't really enjoy massages, I get it. I get it. Okay. But maybe find the type of massage that you like. Okay. There's different types. I remember when I went to Bali, I got a Thai massage. That was the most relaxing freaking massage I ever got in my life. Okay. And I'm used to like deep tissues, like them with the elbow, getting up in there because I have so many freaking knots all the time. And just being someone that's active, I just have a lot going on in my body. So usually, like, I'm opting into like an oriental massage where they're doing like some stretching. I like sports massages. They're also like really focusing on those active parts of the body, those big muscles, your quadriceps, your hamstrings, things like that. So just find what you like, find what works for you, find what is going to give your body some relief. Okay. We have to. We cannot just be out here walking around complaining that we're in pain all the time, but not doing anything. Okay. Also, the last thing is to be grateful for your body. Literally give thanks for your health, give thanks for your body, for all of your limbs, for having all your organs. Like these are things that we don't think about and we really take it for granted. But I always come back to gratitude with my body. So like today I felt the best I felt in like the past week. And I prayed and I thank God, like thank you God for like allowing me to feel better today, for allowing me to clean and bend over in my freaking bathtub and clean the bathtub. Like I've been living looking crazy because I haven't been able to clean in the way that I want to, because of the pain. So don't take those things for granted. When you feel good, give thanks. When you feel good, like do more things that are going to help you to feel good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all, this is going to be it for today's episode. Last thing I want to say to you guys, I keep saying last thing, but no, for real. Last thing I want to say to you, if you are someone that's dealing with an injury or you have been living in pain or living in suffering, you have some type of ailment or some type of disease or something that has been diagnosed where you feel like it's irreversible. Because in my situation, at least, it's irreversible. You cannot reverse a herniated disc. They've tried to have me get surgery, they've tried to have me get an epidural in my back. And I'm just like, I'm not doing all that. Okay. I'm going to stick to my holistic care. Okay. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing for as long as I can keep doing it. Okay. I can still show up and dance. I can still show up and move my body. I can still run. So if you are someone that has been diagnosed with anything, okay, it doesn't have to be a herniated disc. It could be anything, your neck, your foot, your knee. You have a freaking knee brace on, your arm is in a sling right now. Like, whatever it is, I want you to have grace with yourself. Okay. I want you to have grace with yourself. I want you to talk to yourself nicely. I want you to, again, give thanks to your body. Like, literally talk to your body. Okay. I know this sounds crazy, but like, it's your body. Okay, nobody's gonna know that you're talking to your body. If you're in the bathroom with yourself, we go to the bathroom every day, we use the toilet. That is you literally having a relationship with your body. Your body has to function properly. So talk to your body, okay? If it's some pain that you're feeling in your shoulder, talk to your shoulder, okay? Rub your shoulder, caress your body, give your body love, literally treat yourself with care. Don't wait for nurses and doctors and massage therapists to do all this work for us, okay? Don't wait to go to the doctor to feel like you're getting any type of care. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Run a bubble bath. Put some Epsom salt in the bath, okay? But treat yourself with care. Be nice, be gentle to yourself. And the days that you need rest, the days that you need a break, the days where you can't do anything and like it's just feeling like too much, be okay with that. Take the time, like take it as a sign I need to rest. That was a sign that I took it as this week when I wasn't able to show up. Like I had to cancel my heels class this Wednesday. Like that had me upset because this is my first heels class since I moved, right? But I didn't let that get me down, right? Like, yeah, I was a little sad about it, but I also know I'm in the phase of my life where I would rather rest than to go and make my situation worse with my body. That's just how I think, right? Like preserve yourself so that you can do the things that you're here to do, right? I know that I'm here to dance. I know that I'm here to help other people move in ways that are beneficial, that feel good, that add joy into their life. And I can't do that. I can't live in my purpose if I'm not resting. So I want to encourage y'all to rest, listen to your body. If you need to chill out today, if you need to skip a workout, you're not going to die. Okay. So, yeah, y'all, I hope you're feeling good. I hope this helped. If you are someone that's like in really bad pain right now, or you're just feeling really down about your situation, like just know pain is temporary. Okay. Pain is temporary. There's always a solution. There might not always be like a fix, a quick fix, or a long-term fix, but there are solutions. And usually it's just the way that we show up and care for ourselves. It's the daily habits, it's in the routines, it's in our mindset. So, yeah, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Send this to someone maybe who is dealing with an injury or something in their body that is bringing them a lot of pain, discomfort, dis-ease, and share it with them. Let them know that you're thinking of them and that it's more common than we know. Like a lot of people are walking around with injuries that we don't know about and that they don't talk about. I'm sure a lot of y'all would have never thought that I had a back injury with all the crazy shit I be doing on the dance floor. So that being said, y'all, thank you again for tuning into this episode. I hope y'all are feeling good today. Go do something for yourself, okay? Do something for your mind, your body, your soul today. And yeah, we're going to chat in another episode. We have another solo episode coming out this Wednesday. And remember, we're back to Sunday, Wednesday, y'all. Y'all are seeing my face today because I'm trying to show up for myself and start just looking more presentable on a day to day so that I can feel more encouraged and motivated to like do more content. So yeah, y'all. Thank you again for tuning in. If you love this episode, make sure you leave a rating and review on Spotify or Apple. You can hit that like button if you're watching this on YouTube. Subscribe. Again, share this with a friend. Share this on your story. Share this, repost this. You can now, I think, like repost or share on YouTube. I don't know. But thank you again. And I will see y'all in another episode. Bye.